Hi friends, I am here to remind us with a little bit of a practice of the 4 homework assignments in our LifeFit yoga classes. There's another post that shows this from a seated position, and here I'm going to show them from a standing position. Let us begin. Feet together, unless knees come together first. Tadasana, mountain pose. If you will, draw your chin toward your chest. Turn your reflection inward. And focus first on how your feet meet the surface below. How, despite the fact that you are being still, there is a very slight coming and going. There is a constant recalibration of where you are in space. This happens every moment of our lives. Bring a little push into the big toe mounds, root the inner heels, create lift through the arches of the feet, the 8 little toes, and to continue to find lift through the front body. Feel your human design at work. Reach lightly with the shoulder blades down, lengthen through the crown of the head, and notice your inner strength. Notice how your core muscles are engaged. Ask for the lift of the kneecaps while you engage the quadriceps. Notice how this connects to the lift of the pelvic floor and the lower abdominals. And more importantly, how the heart and shoulders open and lift. Keeping broad and long, bring your hands to your heart. Give your practice an intention. And let us begin. From here, hook your thumbs, just like this. And I'll come closer to the screen to show you that you can have your hands in this palms facing up position, or bring your hands closer to your chest. You might want to explore both and notice what happens in the shoulders. At first, the fingers stretch wide, and then your focus can settle into how this affects the rib cage and neck. How there is a continued broadening across the shoulder girdle, across the very front of the collarbone area. While you stay here, continue to root the legs and lengthen the spine so there is vertical expansion and horizontal extension in the body in general. Note which hand is on top. Draw the elbows back. That continues that intention to open the front body, and then allow the other thumb to hook and return to that broadening action. When you feel the settling pattern, allow it to maximize and continue. So what you'll find is that across the collarbones, there's this spreading action into the front of the shoulders, but allow it to slide into underneath the armpits, and just know that this is affecting the shoulder girdle in general. It is healthy for the neck. It creates space across the shoulder blades as well. Just feel. While we build time, we build awareness, and we begin to respect and feel grateful for our beautiful, intricate human design. Next, we're going to ease into revolved side angle pose. You're welcome to use a chair. You're welcome to use a block or anything that might give you access to the leverage. We'll start this way. I'm going to use a block. And I'm going to take it to one end of my mat. And then step back first into a warrior one position. Take a deep breath. Enjoy where you are. You can build time in this pose along the way. But then come on forward into this lengthening and decide if you might be inclined to want a longer, lower pose. It's not important. It's just an option. Bring your hands together to that outer knee and resist. Keep reaching into the inner heel. Keep lengthening through the crown of the head. Note that this is a light twist and that you can anchor the back leg. If taking on a little bit more of this pose means a deeper twist, coming lower, turning more, then begin to notice using the block. You can keep that arm working against the leg while you use the block. You can take the top hand behind you and continue to allow both arms to participate in this twist. Notice that you could also take that top arm and lift it up and out, trying not to yank the shoulder back, but to help the rib cage rotate. You can equally take that arm overhead, following the line of the back leg, turning to look up and back, and maximizing on all the lines of energy, how they contribute to the pose, creating balance. Very nice. To back off and continue this pose, you could use the block or the chair underneath the hand on the inside of the leg. You could decide to be lower or higher, but the same idea follows, turning any amount. Taking the arm tall, reaching that arm, creating that longer line through the body. And before you give this away, let's note two more things. The bottom hand is the one in charge of the twist. It can help you turn the rib cage more, and then the other limbs will come into play. It can be that you use your legs differently. So consider pulling the legs toward each other. Notice how it helps you keep this hip in check. It won't wing out. And how it creates, again, a sense of lift in the pose. It engages the core more and asks the legs to participate all the more. To come out of this pose, simply reverse, return in the reverse. Slide the back leg to the front leg, sit and stand. And let's repeat all of that on the other side. There are many ways to come into this pose. And while I set up the block, pardon that I'll turn my back to you to show you yet another way. You could step your feet apart. Turn the front foot out, turn the back foot in, and arrive to your warrior one that way. Making note of this different transition, we will use it in our return as well. Come around and down. Lengthen the torso before you twist. Let that help you decide about the length of your stance and ease in. Don't be in a hurry. It's not always about doing as much as you absolutely can. Take advantage of the prop. It'll give you a chance to get your bearings, to find new leverage, variety of action within the alignment, and give your body the opportunity to strengthen with as much variety as possible. It'll help you decide on any given day what your practice is really going to be like. Take the arm overhead, keep reaching into that inner back heel. Think about the amount of time you spent. Give attention to your breath. So many places to send your attention. On occasion, experience backing off to do more. I really like using that phrase. It gives us this permission that allows our mind to just quiet and come a little bit more present, appreciate where we really are, and not be in a hurry. So again, all of these options, there are so many more. But before we give this away, this idea of using the legs, pulling them toward each other, it might give you an opportunity to turn a little bit more, Take a deep breath. Notice that bottom arm. Exhale, and then inhale to come out of the twist. As you get your bearings, return in the reverse and walk or hop your feet together. Let's continue. So far we've had mountain pose, Garud Mudra, revolved side angle pose, and now we're going to do pigeon. So I happen to have a blanket all rolled up and ready. You can use anything. Sometimes folks decide that they're going to use their block or 2 blocks. And we will explore coming into this with transitions that also give us variety. So at first, I'm going to leave my roll and meet you at a diagonal. Take a deep breath. Come and sit, then fold. And using your blanket, you can step back into your downward facing dog. Appreciate where you just had been. Walk your hands a little bit further. And then bring that leg, just one leg, forward. I have arrived with my front shin aiming to be perpendicular to my torso. I am sitting with a little bit of height underneath the upper thigh near the sitting bone. I am flexing this front foot and aiming to sit tall, embracing the back bending opportunity of this pose. While you are here building time, I want to show you what the back leg is or can be doing. So if by chance this is a little bit cumbersome, then you are welcome to bend that back knee and just allow this hip to warm up to what you are asking. I think it is wise to use a block or blocks under the hands. And therefore, that gives me leverage, takes the edge off the lower back, and helps me to explore extending that back leg. While you explore, you can stay at the top of the foot. You can plant the toes and really reach the inner heel back, any or all of that. We're going to come and go. You can turn the blocks so they are low. You can do without them, but come into your downward facing dog. And then step the other leg forward. So again, I will meet you using the blocks to stay with a little bit of height. There is such a thing as too much of a good thing, so please ease into what you are asking. Back off and then readjust. Move the heart forward. Think about which side is a little bit more willing. Know that we are going to repeat the less willing side. As your body eases into what you're asking, if you need to back off in what the front leg is doing, then I'm going to encourage you, instead of aiming to have that thigh in such a way that allows the shin to be perpendicular to the body, you can bring the heel closer to the midline, bring the knee closer to the midline, and that takes the edge off. Another way to switch is to bring the back leg around and to take that front leg back. So whether you use your downward facing dog, whether you use swinging the back leg forward, I'd like for you to repeat a third time now, allowing the less willing side to take it on again. And I'm going to join you in it. Along the way of your repetition, I want you also to consider different heights. You may decide that you don't need a blanket or blocks in a blanket. Just notice what that allows you and how it lends to your ease in building time with action in this alignment. That brings us to the last action. As you become more familiar with building time here, I want you to think about how your legs work together toward each other. If you can pull the front outer shin toward the back leg, notice that cinching up action that gives you a sense of lift, how it takes away from the experience of the lower back in this pose and allows you to really open the chest and lift the heart. So it contributes in the long range to the goal, one of the goals in this pose. Eventually we will pick up the back foot and reach back and catch that foot, but we want to carefully and safely get there through our back bending practices. Once you have finished, exhale. Bring your hands to low blocks or no blocks. Plant the back foot. Come into your downward facing dog. Allow yourself to stay with this symmetry, pressing the floor away with both your feet and your arms. Bending the knees lightly, sending the sitting bones toward the ceiling, and creating length in the torso, allowing the head to hang. And then reach the inner heels toward the floor any amount. Inhale, lift your head and look ahead. Step your feet to your hands. Sit and stand and return to your mountain practice. Notice the residue of your practice. Enjoy moving forward, coming time and again to this 4 pose practice. I look forward to seeing you as we come together again. Namaste.